Okay, and you can go in. Okay.
Yeah, you can go in.
Good afternoon, class. I hope that everyone has had a delightful meal of food.
However, phrenology is the only one that really proves that we're able to predict personality traits or intelligence in fields such as phrenology and ethnology. And
Did you guys see where that guy that was sitting next to you went?
Scientifically justified places.
No, I haven't.
Shh. To go into this particular paths.
This is the most interesting part.
Directly from
I haven't seen him either. I don't know where he went.
Wonderful thing about the science is it allows us to figure out, to understand and anticipate how we're going
Did you see that guy that was sitting beside me there?
individuals who must be
Toby?
from society.
Who? Toby, you know,
Phrenology
tall guy,
focuses on personality
baseball
and
hat,
character, and it should be distinguished
kind of like a
from
chin strap
phrenology, which is
going on,
the study of skulls outside
back bunch
a
of it.
totally different field of study.
Fucking
So
wild.
we should
All of it.
objective hands. It's pure poltergeist complete. What about this class interests you?
Success.
How did you hear about the program?
My parents told me.
What previous education have you achieved?
Double major. Biology and math. Cornell University pre-med.
Does your family have a history of mental illness or criminality?
No history.
Do you believe in psychology?
No. That is why I do not study it.
Mr. Chung has elected to challenge our course materials. I hope it won't disturb anyone if he writes his exam while we continue with our lecture.
Given racial skulls, just the individual skull renders one utterly inappropriate for social interaction and requiring exclusion. And what about this class interests you?
I'm interested in skulls.
How did you hear about the program?
I overheard a conversation about it on ham radio.
What previous education have you achieved?
I got as far as grade 10 and I realized the school system couldn't keep up with me, so I quit. Since then, I've read every important book ever written.
Does your family have a history of mental illness or criminality?
My great-grandfather was a shooter for the Black Hand. Other than that, I'm spotless.
Do you have any previous medical training?
I can do anything to a human body.
Do you believe in psychology?
As a weapon.
Doc Spursheim?
Yes, Mr. Gall.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you knew where Toby has gone.
Mr. Hicks has decided that the magic of science is not for him. That reminds me, class. Today we have a real human skull we can analyze in the lab. All right, class. Welcome to the lab. Here we have the basic materials that we are going to be using for our phrenological studies in the class. We have the basic technical material that we'll be using to begin our studies, and of course the raw material. We will, however, be focusing primarily on the American method of examining the skull beneath the skin here inside the lab, as opposed to the European method, the living skull. But now that we have that theoretical background in place, I'm sure we'll have a great deal of fun. However, we are not in this class going to be engaging in the more Eastern or Russian methods, the Blavatsky school for perhaps feeling the interior contours of the skull, which is guaranteed to cure the criminal mind. Now, notice the philoprogenitiveness organ here and the approbation organ here. Now, this person obviously was likely to get cancer, but he was exceptionally gifted with mechanical engineering skills, liked a lot of potato chips, and had vigorous masturbation habits. So before we go too far, are there any questions from you about the rules and protocols that you must abide by in this place of scientific research? No? Fantastic. Then we shall begin. All right, class, one at a time. Step up and feel the skull. All right, class. Now I want you to take turns feeling each other's skulls.
Wow, you have really nice hair.
Thanks.
Do you use Head and Shoulders?
Yes.
And a really large progenitive organ.
Buongiorno!
All right, class. I hope that you all enjoyed learning about each other's bodies like that. All right then, let's file back to the class one by one. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Doesn't matter if you put your heart into it, but it does to me. I'm influenced by the people who see past all of the evil real artists, letting the music heal. It doesn't matter that the world is playing.
Now, class, I will hand out a sheet with many famous people's skulls and outlining their historical figures. And yes, Dania, Tom Cruise's skull is among them. And I hope that a discussion of more good news, class. It seems that there's someone here who has a skull that is necessary to complete our collection.
Hold on one sec, Iltone's chugging it. Corona Extra, Iltone is loving it. The government better put me on a list of radical rappers who simply don't give a shit. Iltone's got the joint, 4C's got the booze. Put it together, it's the music they can't lose. Doesn't even matter having rappers to amuse you. Doesn't even matter if you're lost without a clue. Iltone's got the joint.
Dude, they need your skull.
We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull. We're going to need your skull.
Cut!
In the early early 20th century, phrenology benefited from revived interest, particularly fueled by studies of evolutionary theory and criminology and anthropology. On Monday, October 1st, 2007, so right before our discussion, the state of Michigan began to impose a tax on phrenological services. I personally have chosen all of my cats based on phrenological characteristics, but I have no mistaken belief that they have organs 13 and 27.
Mixing it up, doing this shit 2007, 2008, and forever.